Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Maloney back with you for another edition of CWN Predicts Impact Wrestling No Surrender 2021, taking place live tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. on Fight, as well as Impact Plus, and taking place from Skyway Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. We're live right now on Twitch, just to keep the stats up, and we'll be doing a premiere on YouTube as well as Facebook at 3 o'clock today. So if you're watching, listening on audio, thank you very much, as we'll be uploading to Apple Podcasts, Anchor, stuff like that. But like I said, prediction show for No Surrender 2021 taking place live tonight. 9 matches in effect, so it's going to be a huge show. And a lot of names on this one there. So it's interesting too, because you got the AEW, so the All Elite Wrestling Factor. I want to say this, dressed in the red and the black, so it is hockey season going on. Football is officially done. Huge Ottawa Senators fans, so hence the hat. It is also Hockey Day in Canada. So 3 big games on tap for today. So the Sens taking on the Jets this afternoon. We get the Leafs and the Habs, the Montreal Canadiens, at I think 7, and then the 10 o'clock game is Calgary and Vancouver. So if you're a hockey fan and you enjoy watching hockey, it is Hockey Day in Canada. So everybody, happy Hockey Day in Canada. So I forgot to mention that on CWN Weekly yesterday, but yeah. So I'll be doing this podcast, watching the game. And then hopefully I'll be back for the recap show live tonight. If not, it'll be tomorrow morning. But let's get into the prediction show here. So match number 1 taking place, 6-person tag team match. Decay, Rosemary, Crazy Steve, and the new member there, Black Taurus, taking on Tennille Dashwood, as well as Triple XL, AC Romero, and as well as Larry D. So, you know, they've had their issues with Rosemary, and then Tennille Dashwood offered her services, hence the alignment of the 3 of them. This match here, I'm loving the fact that Triple XL is one of those tag teams that, you know, you don't necessarily think of a great tag team, but when you see them in the ring, they get personality. Larry D, I think it was this past week, impressed me on TV. If it wasn't this week, it was last week. You know, big guy who can move, and obviously AC can move as well. But in saying that, I am a fan of Decay, the new formed Decay, so to speak. So Rosemary, Crazy Steve, obviously a little bit of Canadian bias there, but then Black Taurus impressed me this past week. So I'm going to say right away, Decay in the opener to win. So that's Rosemary, Crazy Steve, and Black Taurus for the victory there. Match number 2 of the night, another 6-person tag team match, but it's a 6 knockout tag team match. We got Jordan Grace, Jazz, as well as the one and only ODB taking on Deonna Purrazzo, Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion Kimberly and Susan. It'd be interesting to see if there's going to be any shoes tossed. It's you know, it's the Susan character is interesting. Obviously, you love Sue Young, you love Susie. Susan is just, I mean, she's the new Karen, so to speak. But it's an interesting, you know, combination over there. It was interesting to see ODB take the fall, you know, this past week on Impact there. So when you look at it, you know, what do? So do you have the heels go over once again? Or do you do it mathematically where all of a sudden, hey, who do you set up to take on Deonna Purrazzo next? So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say the faces win. And when I say that, I say Jordan Grace, Jazz, and ODB. I'm going to see Deonna Purrazzo gets pinned. Who's going to pin her? I don't think it's Jordan Grace, because she had her moment. So if it's a toss-up between ODB and Jazz, I'm going to say Jazz takes the win. I'm going to say Jazz pins Deonna Purrazzo, sets up a match between the 2 of them. And, you know, it's Tommy Dreamer's 50th birthday today. So happy birthday, Dreamer. And I think if he had any, you know, if he, and you know, he's kind of in charge there. You know, Scott D'Amore takes him and takes a lot of advice from Tommy Dreamer, obviously. Tommy Dreamer put over Jazz this week on one of the podcasts I listened to, and I'm going to say if Tommy Dreamer has anything to do about it on his 50th birthday, I'm going to say Jazz pins Deonna Purrazzo and sets up a match there. So the faces win, Jordan Grace, Jazz, ODB. Next match of the night, Jake Something taking on Diener with the Violent by Design in his corner. That is Eric Young as well as Joe Doring. Jake Something, it's like the hacksaw Jim Duggan, so to speak. You love the guy, but he's not necessarily going to win a lot of titles. And with this, you know, the Violent by Design, the gimmick, you know, I can't see them losing anytime soon. I see them being built up to probably be tag team champions. And I'm not talking about Eric Young. I'm talking probably about Joe Doring as well as Diener. In saying that, I think it's only a matter of time before Jake Something actually chooses to align with them. I think him and Joe Doring would make a huge tag team. Let Diener go off on his own, X Division, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to say in this, Diener takes the win, and then Jake Something, gimmick change or not. And Jake Something is something he was, Ontario Independent Wrestling. That's the name he used to go by. So it's nothing new for us fans here in Ontario. But I'm going to say even with the gimmick change, nothing changes for him. Violent by Design still gets the better of him. So I'm going to say Diener for the win in this one. Match number 4, first championship match of the night. Texas Tornado no DQ match for the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship. So we got Fire and Flava, which is Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz as champs, taking on Havoc and Nevaeh. Learned that Nevaeh spelled backwards is heaven. So thanks, Matt Stryker, for that. But that was my Impact Wrestling new knowledge of the week, so to speak. What do you do? Because you had 2 singles matches in back-to-back weeks. You had the champions lose in back-to-back weeks. But you don't want those titles to be switching hands quite a bit. If you think about the WWE and when they created those championships, the tag team women's championships over there, they changed hands too many times and they kind of went to the back burner. Then they had to basically 360 it, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, the tag team championships are relevant again. And in order to be relevant, you got to have strong champions. So Fire and Flava wins a tournament. They lose singles matches, but as a team, keep them strong. So I'm going to say Fire and Flava for the win to retain tonight and keep the championship belts on them. Match number 5 in the night, triple threat revolver match to determine the number 1 contender to the Impact X Division Championship. This, I'm going to say, beyond the main event, I'm going to say this is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most because it's interesting. You got 8 guys in the mix, including Canadian, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. And the way it works is this. So triple threat revolver match. So you start with a triple threat match. Somebody loses. And the next thing you know, you bring in another guy. You bring in another guy. You bring in another guy. So it's almost like a gauntlet match, but triple threat style and rules. So when you get down to the final 3 competitors, whoever wins becomes the number 1 contender to the X Division Championship there. The people involved in the match, Ace Austin, obviously is going to have Madman Fulton, along their ringside unless he gets banned. Blake Christian, Chris Bay, happy 25th birthday to Chris Bay as well there. Davari, walking weapon, Josh Alexander, as I previously said. Suicide, Trey Miguel, as well as Willie Max. So when you look at the names here, I'm going to say Chris Bay, Ace Austin, Josh Alexander, and Trey Miguel are the ones that stand out. Of those 4 guys, Chris Bay has already had the championship. Ace Austin has already had the championship as well, but he is having a strong 2021. Who am I missing here? Trey Miguel just came back. I don't believe this is going to be his moment. Obviously it's something that's going to continue with Sami Callihan. Obviously the feud's going to happen, sometime this month or sometime early this year anyways. In saying that, I'm going to say, being biased again, walking weapon, Josh Alexander. We know what he can do as a tag team wrestler. Here in Canada, here in Ontario, we know what he can do as a singles wrestler, but fans in Impact Wrestling don't know that yet. So build him up strong, build him up to be the beast that he is. And I'm going to say the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, comes out of this as the new number 1 contender to the X Division Championship there. Match number 6 of the night, which is going to be an interesting one as well. Eddie Edwards, Matt Cardona taking on Brian Myers and Hernandez. So obviously, you've got the Major Fig brothers and Cardona and Myers on opposite sides there. Myers with the Mr. Bad attitude, so to speak. Eddie Edwards, Matt Cardona. What do you do? Do you do a heel turn for Cardona, which would be kind of cool, actually? Give people talking as far as Impact Wrestling goes, because you got the smiley babyface and Cardona, but the fact is Hernandez is kind of in the mix, but he's already had his run as far as Impact Wrestling goes. Eddie Edwards, it's the same sort of thing. He's seemed to be around forever. So what do? You bring it back to Cardona and Myers, and do you bring a feud out of this, or do you basically leave Eddie Edwards as the odd man out? I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it's a one big ploy against Eddie Edwards. I'm going to say Cardona is going to turn against Edwards, and I'm going to say Brian Myers and Hernandez win the match because of Matt Cardona's heel tactics. So that is that's going out on a limb there, but it'd be cool to see. So I'm going to say Brian Myers and Hernandez, officially for the win there. Match number 7, Impact X Division Championship match. We got TJP as champ, taking on former champ Rohit Raju with Mahabali, hopefully I pronounced that right, Shera, in his corner. This is, do you put the title back on Raju? He's been looking strong. Obviously, he's got Shera in his corner now, or do you keep the title on TJP? And if you give the title to Raju, do you set up Raju versus Josh Alexander like I was talking about, or you set up TJP versus Josh Alexander, which you got two baby faces there? So I'm going to say this, because I picked Josh Alexander to win the triple threat revolver match, I'm going to say Rohit Raju takes back the title in this one here. So Rohit as new X Division champion coming out on this one. Match number 8, semi-main event, triple threat tag team match for the Impact World Tag Team Championship. Originally, it was supposed to be the Good Brothers and Private Party. Obviously, Scott D'Amore stepped in and all of a sudden made it a triple threat match because of the antics of the Good Brothers, so to speak, as well as Private Party. So when it comes down to it, you've got the Good Brothers as champs, defending against Private Party of AEW, Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn with Matt Hardy in their corner, and then we got Chris Sabin and James Storm. The interesting aspect of everything is we've seen obviously Omega in Impact Wrestling. We've seen the Good Brothers in AEW Wrestling, but we haven't seen any titles on the line until tonight, I believe. In saying that, I don't think the agreement with regards to AEW and Impact Wrestling is to have any titles change hands. I think if that was going to happen, I think Kenny Omega, from that first opening promo that he had, would be the belt collector. We would have seen a title on him already, but that's not happening. Obviously, he's over there in AEW, competing in matches against Mox and Lance Archer, so to speak. So in this one, Private Party, do you have James Storm and Chris Sabin in there to have them, give them the win? Do you have Private Party look strong, so to speak, and not get pinned? And maybe that's why Chris Sabin, James Storm is in this. I think creative probably didn't know what to do officially with regards to this. And like I said, if that's on the table, if the case is, if there's no titles that can change hand between the two companies there, because obviously the contracted wrestlers for Impact Wrestling, contracted wrestlers for AEW, you've got to put the win on somebody. So, you don't want to have Private Party lose to the Good Brothers because they're Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions. But so what do? I'm going to say this in short. Good Brothers win, they retain, and they end up beating Chris Sabin and James Storm to retain that way. Private Party's in the match. They look strong. They don't get pinned. They don't submit. And the Good Brothers end up beating Sabin and Storm in the end. So I'm going to say the Good Brothers to retain in that one there. And then match number 9, main event, Impact Wrestling World Championship match. Rich Swann taking on, as champion, the Innovator of Violence, Mr. Birthday Boy, Mr. 50th birthday, Tommy Dreamer. So I've listened to Dreamer on a couple podcasts this week. He actually got kind of choked up. Just the support coming out for him, people acknowledging him on his birthday. Busted Open had a birthday themed episode towards him when he had people like Raven get on there, the Sandman get on there. Bubba Ray Dudley, Bully Ray was on there as well. And Dreamer got choked up talking about a few things. And, he's just one of those good dudes that you just love seeing. Hard to believe he's 50 years old. But to be in the main event, to be in the championship match against Rich Swann tonight, I got to say, and this isn't Canadian bias, it's just bias. I want to see Dreamer win. I want to see the 50-year-old dude on his birthday celebrate in the middle of the ring and win that championship. So I'm going to say happy birthday, Tommy Dreamer. Once again, happy 50th birthday, Tommy Dreamer. And I want to see you win this championship tonight. I think there's a lot of fans out there that would love to see it as well. So guys, I'm going to say Tommy Dreamer as new champion. And hopefully he does it clean. Moose isn't on the card. Hopefully he's nowhere in sight, so to speak. But it would suck to see Moose cost Rich Swann the title. Unless Dreamer turns heel, which would be interesting. But I'm going to say Tommy Dreamer as new champion tonight. So that is my official prediction. So running through once again, Decay for the win. I'm going to say Jordan Grace, Jazz, and ODB for the win. I'm going to say Diener for the win. I'm going to say Fire and Flava to retain. I'm going to say Josh Alexander to win the triple threat revolver match. Once again, Brian Myers and Hernandez to win, thanks to Matt Cardona turning heel. I'm going to say Rohit Raju as new champ. I'm going to say the Good Brothers to retain. And I'm going to say happy 50th birthday to the new Impact Wrestling World Champion, Tommy Dreamer. So those are my official predictions there. So guys, check it out on Fight as well as Impact Plus. You can sign up for free for 30 days. All you need is basically a credit card and an email address, and you can get the show for free tonight on Fight or Impact Plus. And like I said, you can have it free for 30 days and cancel on the 29th day, and you don't get charged at all. So it's a good way to support Tommy Dreamer, to watch him win the Impact World Championship on his 50th birthday there. But guys, check that out. Like I said, no Impact, no surrender. 2021 taking place live tonight, 8 p.m. on Fight as well as Impact Plus. Official hashtag, as you can see down below, hashtag no surrender there. So check it out. It's going to be a good show. 9 big matches taking place, and the main event I'm excited about, as well as the triple threat revolver match there. As always, check me out at Chris Maloney CWN on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, as well as Reddit. And I will hopefully be back tonight, depending on timing, and like I said, old age kicking in. But if I'm not back tonight for the recap show, I'll be back tomorrow, as well as the prediction show and the recap show for NXT tomorrow as well. So it'll either be another show today or 3 shows tomorrow. So it's and I'm still gonna put in Valentine's Day in there as well. But guys, enjoy the show tonight. And it's going to be well worth it. And like I said, 8 o'clock tonight, Fight as well as Impact Plus. So that is it. I will see everybody again tonight, or I will see everybody again tomorrow. And enjoy the show. And like I said, happy Hockey Day in Canada, and lots to watch on TV tonight. So guys, once again, Impact Wrestling No Surrender 2021 taking place live 8 o'clock tonight. So guys, I'll check you out tonight, tomorrow, but enjoy the rest of your day.